Oh, no, that's not supposed to go to him first. It's supposed to go to host with no guest. That's a guest? Oh, no, we changed this all entirely. Well, you see our guest, and I'm happy about that. That's the wonderful Chris Wojcik, who will be joining us right now for the show. But I want to tell you guys a few things before we get to him. Hello, it's good to see you guys. I'm happy that you guys are joining us. It has been a very busy weekend. First and foremost, we did a UFC Fight Pass Invitational live fight companion yesterday, and we packed it all up. We brought it back here. So we moved the studio from over at Milton Arguello's Mixed Martial Arts Academy straight back to the home studio here. So I appreciate you guys. And we got two great interviews that are going to be going up to our Patreon. We have a Patreon? Yes, we do. You guys should go check it out. It is patreon.com/grappling hour. If you go there, you get to see these interviews 30 days before anybody else. Now, what that means is all these regular Yahoos, they see information that's way past the fact. But you guys, if you're smart and you love us and you give us the monies, you can see it right away. Additionally, you can also go check out some very cool content. I see we've got our buddy Eddie Bernal, who was actually one of the people we interviewed and on yesterday's Fight Companion. So shout out to our good friend there. Very much appreciate you for showing back up, sir. This dude's doing double duty. He was there yesterday. Now he's watching the show, and I appreciate that. Couple little quick reminders. Yes, you can do that, but you can also become a premium member where you can get instant access to some of our best material. Meaning, you can check out a segment called Roast Raf where people roast my competition footage. You can watch tape studies that we do with the athletes about their matches, and you can see mini-sodes that we record after the episodes that aren't available anywhere else. You can also like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoy these videos. Join our Discord, and if you have nothing to comment about in this video, I'm going to be surprised. But do us a solid. The more that you guys comment, I can actually pull them onto the show. Now, Raf, where can you pull up these comments? Well, you can pull up multiple comments like this that says, will there be oil checks on this live? Well, I guess you're going to have to stay and watch to find out. I'd prefer not to oil check anybody, especially our guest, but that's the worst way we can introduce our guest, so I'm going to find a better way. Let's put it this way. Our guest is a sweetheart. He is somebody who has captivated the whole world. He has been one of the best people to rely on for incredible jiu-jitsu writing. And I argue this. I don't want to embarrass him. I think he is the best jiu-jitsu writer that is currently going pound for pound. So I want to say a big hello to our friend, Chris Wojcik. Chris, how are you doing, sir?
Doing great, man. Very flattered to be considered by at least someone the best jiu-jitsu writer out there. So very glad to be back on the show and looking forward to it.
I just want to point this out. You should take the compliment because of this. I don't know that there are many good writers, let alone many writers anymore. Everybody's all making visual content. So I have to give you your props because I hope that there will be more writers again soon. And you don't just repurpose content. You don't just sit there and go like, hey, on Nicholas Marigali's Instagram, he said news, period. So I have an appreciation for you being able to do that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate what you do as well. Big fan.
Thank you. Thank you. It's very sweet of you. I do want to get down to the bottom of this, though, Chris, which is, you know, you are somebody who tends to have opinions, and I agree with a lot of them. But I brought you on here, and I want to just get your feel. You're looking at a board. I don't think you've done something like this before in the jiu-jitsu realm. Am I right on that?
I haven't done anything like this in any realm, I would say.
It's okay. That's very warming. I wasn't sure if you had exclusive rights to the NBA that you were doing on the side, so that you might have done something like this. Now, you're looking at the board. Are there any of these topics that kind of scare you outright? Any of these topic categories that makes you a little nervous?
Oh, I would say probably mistake makes me a little nervous.
Okay.
I'm probably going to have to talk about something dumb that I did.
Okay. So do you think that mistake is about you personally?
Or it's about somebody else, and then they're going to be mad at me.
Are you nervous that you might say something out of turn here?
No.
Okay. That's what we want. We want you to feel free. This is a, you know, like, consider it like we took everybody's cell phones and this is a comedy club and you're just working out new materials. That's what we're doing here. Okay.
Okay.
except it is recorded and we do stream it out live. So it is kind of the opposite of that. But I did want you to feel like we did do that. So
I think
there
this is my
is.
first time doing an Instagram live of any kind.
Are you serious? How have you not? I would have assumed you would have done some kind of Instagram live.
I don't know. I just never did.
Is it that you don't have any interest in doing one?
I don't know. I just never even had the thought. Like, I just never even thought about it. I don't know.
You're one of the people whose Instagram live would go up and I would probably watch that. So I am a little picky on who I do this for.
Maybe in the future, maybe I'll be live on Instagram soon. But
I'm
for
just
now,
saying.
I'm just not going. This is my test.
Well, let's hope it goes well. And if it doesn't, don't blame me. Blame the audience.
Okay.
That's the biggest part of this, okay? So here's what we're going to do. Since you are the guest, I want to give you the opportunity to go ahead and pick which category you'd like to do first. Now, as per the rules, once I say the category, or once you say the category, or once it's picked, you then will be read a prompt. You will then have the remaining time of that 1 minute to respond to that prompt, whatever it is. Now, if I so choose it, I give myself rebuttal time. I usually do. But just know that we're looking for the best takes here. And we're not grading people, but we may give out belts or stripes, depending on how well you do. Okay. Having said all of that, is there one that you would like to start off with, sir?
Let's start with mistake, since that's the scary one.
Mistake it is. You famously have not come to train with me, yet you were in Southern California. How do you plan to remedy this mistake, Chris Wojcik?
I will be back in Southern California in early April, and I will come train with you.
Do we have that as a firm agreement?
We have that as if my girlfriend lets me, I will come.
Well, hold on. So, all right. Since you were bringing it up, the real mistake is this. What is the biggest mistake you see a teacher or a coach make in the world of jiu-jitsu?
I think, well, apart from like culty stuff, I think the biggest mistake that a lot of coaches make is they try to do too much. They try to put too much like input into their students' learning when you're really should be just kind of guiding them. I think that a lot of coaches are trying to give out like, roadmaps instead of guides.
That's very good. What kind of roadmaps are we talking about here? Like, I don't know if you know this, but maybe you didn't grow up in the age when you would print out directions and try to find your way to a certain place instead of using a GPS. But I grew up in that area and I was not good at directions like that. So I think even if you gave me a roadmap, I might be too stupid to use it.
Okay, so then maybe jiu-jitsu instructors are trying to be GPSs instead of trying to give out roadmaps. Because I feel like so many instructors are like, this is what you do. This is why you do it. I'm a good teacher because I told you that. And I think a good teacher doesn't just teach you how to do stuff. A good teacher teaches you how to like do stuff and then learn to do stuff on your own. Like you should outgrow a good teacher.
Interesting. Very interesting. I do like that. Though that is very bad for my private rates, if that's the case.
Yes, it's very bad for all of our private rates.
I don't really love that too much. I like making sure all of my students know it's like, you're not going to get better without me. Just make sure you know that. Let me go ahead and respond to that one myself. So I'll put on a nice little 45 or minute for myself. Here is going to be what I'm saying. Hey, what's up, Bougie? Good Tommy. Good to see you, brother. Here is my official response to, nope, not 99. This one is to, the fuck is it? Oh no, we didn't switch that over. It is, hold on, let me go back board. It is, you said mistake. Okay, there we go. Should be this one. And it's still on you? No, it's Diva. Yup, you can tell. There we go. Mistake. Let's take you off and let's put me back on. Bam. Okay. I got 52 seconds. That's what I get for fucking up. I think one of the biggest mistakes you can make as an instructor in the world of jiu-jitsu is very simple. One, it's caring if your students laugh at your jokes. I'll tell you this much, guys. I don't care if you laugh or not. I already know I'm funny. And if you laugh in that way because we're getting close to doing promotions, it only is the worst kind of laughter you can ever want as a comedian. I don't like clapter. I don't like when people just clap along for the premise. I want your laughs. And if I feel they're fake, I call you out on it. But I tell you this as somebody who does comedy on the side. Most of you do not do comedy on the side. If you think you do, you probably don't. What I want you to understand and realize is this. It's not important if you are performing well and making your students laugh. It's important if they start to take away the techniques. And it's my whole purpose here to teach them stuff that I hope is better than what they came in with. Now, I just noticed something. Streaming to Verbal Tap Cast stopped because of an error. Wow. I wonder if it's taking the music and thinking the music is whatchamacallit, is copywritten. Holy fuck. So, okay. You know what? I have a new thing that we're going to go off of. I'll fix that on the fly. But I want to point this out to you, sir. I had thought about bringing this up just as like a commentary thing, but I didn't want to make this show too personalized to just my fucking things. We recently, yesterday, when we were doing a fight companion, we had this issue where we were listening to the audio of the post-match speeches, and the UFC flagged me and said that we were airing copywritten material. And I'm like, we're not airing the commentary. I just want to hear what they have to say. And it is the biggest pain in the ass for us on this show.
Oh, man, that's a bummer.
Yeah, so I think I have a fix. I think if I put sound effects off, I think that should do it. Yeah, because I think that should be all the music. But guess what, you guys? No music, because the Grinch, known as the algorithm, is saying, fuck you guys. So, yikes. Here's some good news, though. On the fly, I can fix this, and I can actually put up a new thing, but it is going to take me a second here. So, Chris, I would ask this of you. With this in mind, where potentially would you like to go next, sir?
Oh, let's do lazy next.
You're going to do lazy next. Okay, I think you might enjoy this one. We'll test this out and make sure that this is going out, but running the gauntlet with CHRIS WOJCIK. We'll see what happens. Oh my God. There we go. I almost spelled your name wrong, and if I did, womp womp. I'm under the gun at this point.
Oh, it's okay.
I'm sure you're somewhat used to people doing that with you now.
Yep.
All right. Stream key. Boom. Let's see if this allows us to stream it back on the Instagram. And again, I'm fairly pissed that this happened, but it is what it is. Looking for the preview. Once I see the preview go up, we'll do the switch on over, and we will go on over to the very, very easy and simple lazy, which is our last topic. Do I see it going live? Fuck yeah. Take that, Instagram. We're back, baby. This is how I'm able to fix things on the fly. All right, the last one on the board was lazy. We're going to switch to that right now. Craig Jones has announced that he may not do ADCC. What reason do you think Craig Jones has to not do ADCC, and is he truly being that lazy?
Oh, man, it's hard to say anything because I train at his gym. I think I don't think he's being lazy by not doing it, but he's not being paid very well to do it. I think he's at a point in his career where money is something that he's really prioritizing for his matches. You look at all the matches that he's taking; he's not really taking any matches for the glory of overcoming, something or whatever, which is what a lot of athletes do. He's really just trying to, kind of just cash checks and highlight people. And ADCC, I would say, is I think the hardest tournament to do that. So it's hard to, if that's not what he wants to do, then he won't do it.
Copy that. Okay, so I hear what you're saying here, and I know that you are slightly compromised as somebody who is training with them. That is why we asked if you were going to have any issues or you were worried about saying something out of line. But I do have to say this. That is a very safe answer. I think I need to give you the fan answer, the real answer that the fans themselves are probably feeling or maybe sharing. And I don't know that I speak for every single one of them, but let's see if I could potentially give them the answer in which they are looking for. The response is as such. All right, Craig Jones, I hear what you're saying, bro. But here's the thing. We know you because of ADCC. Not really from anywhere else. Now, granted, you have some dick jokes that some people very much enjoy, and you have some gay jokes. God love, what would we do without that? But what I want you to know is this, Craig, if you do steroids, you already are halfway there. That's the whole point to doing ADCC. Why would you take steroids and not do ADCC? It feels like the laziest man's way out of all of this. Also, can you understand that if we have to do ADCC without your brand of humor, how boring it might be? This thing is leveling up. We need you to come back over, give only the type of humor that you can, and guess what? At this point, I don't think you get a choice. I think you should put up a poll, and if you get people who say you have to do it, you have to do it. That's it. Done.
I think he's going to do it in the end.
I think he's going to do it too. I think this is a dumb little thing he's just saying. I think, and I will take him at his word. I do think, yes, there are more lucrative things he could be doing. And yes, it does make sense. But the problem is, after you get to a certain age, you don't really get that choice anymore. I think he's at the age where he could still do it. But if you put it off for another 2 years, guess what? There's going to be another clone of the Rotolos that are going to be at a higher weight class that are just going to make things worse for him. So the longer you wait, the more that you get new killers who have been watching his DVDs and know how to do his tricks. So I'm just saying, it is slightly annoying when I saw him put that up and I was like, God damn it, Craig, don't do this to us.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I will tell you this much. I very much appreciate, though, that he is he should be back. But yeah, he did an excellent performance yesterday against Lovato. That was really, really fun to see, man.
Yeah, he's like, when he's on, it's like there's, very few people who are remotely close to him.
Yeah. I was saying this yesterday on our Fight Companion where I was like, it's so weird that, sure, we talk about how great Gordon is, and we talk about how, like, oh man, it's got to suck to be second place. I don't know, man. That second place still looks like it's leagues above a lot of other people. So
yeah, I agree.
I think as much as it's a good gag, I also think it's one of those things that we kind of say so flippantly. We kind of make it seem like trash. Second place, trash. This dude's trash. I'm like, bro, just look at how he wrecked one of the best and most decorated MMA and jiu-jitsu artists in Rafael Lovato Jr.
Yeah, he looks super good, man.
Also, I love the fact that when I saw him get his attack on Lovato yesterday, we're so used to seeing people throw up that entry and that exit like he did it, where I'm like, most people don't have that control. And that pinch that he has on the knees, where I was like, yeah, most people, if they did that version of how he crossed his legs, they'd probably look a little bit more trash. His version was always like, oh, that is tight as fuck, dude. That sucks, man.
Yeah. He's an anomaly at this point.
Well, good. I'm glad we didn't get you in too much trouble with Craig, but I will re-edit this interview to make it seem like your answer was mine. I'm going to use AI to just use your voice to make what I said you said.
If you manage to pull that off, I hope you release it. It would be a disservice not to.
I wouldn't put it past me. It does sound like something dumb that I would spend a little time learning how to do and then making it happen. Okay. All right. We've gone there. Where would you like to go next, sir?
Let's do nominated.
Nominated it is.
I don't know what this is.
The Oscars are coming up this weekend. As a result of that, I would like you to tell us who the biggest actor in BJJ is.
The biggest actor in BJJ?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. Okay. All right. Who's the biggest actor? I think Craig is the biggest actor in BJJ. I think he's a method actor, and he's acted so much to the point that his real personality is so indistinguishable from the character that he plays on the internet. So I think he's probably the biggest actor in BJJ. I think John Danaher is a close second because he's managed to convince the entire world of jiu-jitsu that he is a sage, and everyone just kind of buys into it. So I think those are probably the two biggest actors. There's some other ones, but I'd say those are probably the two biggest ones.
Very interesting. Okay. So you think that Danaher has gotten everybody to buy into it?
I think that he is a incredible. I'm not saying he's not a great coach, but I think that this sort of like off the mat persona that he carries is a character.
Mm. It is interesting. I mean, if he was pulling a Daniel Day-Lewis on us and just being in character, it is very fascinating. To me, having interviewed him a couple times, I do notice though there just is a mystique that people go into, and I think there's an aura and all of that. I think what helped with me is I just tried to interview him as a normal dude, and that I just tried to make light of things in a way that I would with anybody else. And I don't know that I have seen other people interview him in such a lighthearted and fun way. But I did notice though, off the mats, he'll tell a story in a similar way. And there was a moment where I was like, "Hey, bud, I gotta go get some food. When does this story end? Um, I mean, I want to hear the end of it, but it's like he has this captivatedness to these people, and I was just like, I don't know that I would afford that to any of my friends. I don't know that I would allow them to speak like in that cadence, that softly, that slowly. I think they would be roasted. So it is a testament to how people truly value his jujitsu-ness. But I think the only thing that really weirds me out is just, when you see Sean Strickland talking about how he's this charlatan and all that sort of stuff, I was like, I don't know necessarily, but then he's like, yeah, this dude wears this rash guard all the time, and yeah, and I go, yeah, okay, I can see how that one's weird. I could give
There's
that
a
to you.
point where, like, objectively speaking, the rash guard. There are situations in life where one must not wear a rash guard, and one is choosing to wear a rash guard not because one wants to wear a rash guard, but because one's persona requires one to wear a rash guard.
Do you think that any day John Danaher wakes up and goes, oh, put this goddamn
I
thing on?
sure hope so. I hope
If
so.
only I could wear the button-up shirt that I yearn to wear. Ugh. Okay, I'll give you a couple right now. All right, here's my response to that one, which was nominated. Man, this was not forward nominated. Here we go. My version for nominated. I have to tell you this. I think back in the day, I don't know if you kids even remember this guy anymore, but I thought Herber Santos was probably our biggest actor in the world. Like, that dude took falls that any soccer player would look at and go, oh, that dude is for real. Good for him. I would tell you this, though. I feel part of the reason why we wanted to put this one up here for this sport is if any of you have watched an IBJJF and watched somebody play up whatever is happening, you would understand that this post, maybe we should be giving out Oscars. Because when people do play it up that extreme, sometimes I kind of put my head down. I'm like, no, I know. He's perfectly fine. I think he's trying to get a call. Cool. So I just want to point this out to you guys. I hope that we can get past this. And if anybody else, let's see what Miragali can do as an actor, because he says he is. And if so, you should call an acting coach very quickly. Just saying. Okay. I will tell you, though, I'm going to have to figure out. I think I have a stopwatch version of this. Not having the little buzzer here does fuck things up. But I do think it is very aggravating that this thing doesn't allow me to put the music on. If that is the case, I'll find out a little bit later. But I do have a little exercise for you here, real quick, okay?
For me?
Since we're on nominated, okay?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that I wanted to do here, because I'm a huge Oscar person, I'm a big movie person, I know the Oscars very, very well, but I'm just going to assume you probably don't.
I watch a lot of movies, but I wouldn't say I'm an Oscar person.
Okay. Hey, watching a lot of movies is just as good. So I thought, just to test this over and see what it is that maybe you may or may not kind of understand, I'm going to list out names of movies, and I want you to tell me if this is an Oscar nominee or not, okay?
Okay.
All right. The
What if
first
I
one.
haven't?
What's that?
If I haven't seen it, should I just say haven't seen it?
You don't want to say I haven't seen it. It's not a have seen it, haven't seen it. You have to tell me if it's a real movie that's nominated for the Oscars or not. So just
Oh, okay. So some of
uh,
these are fake movies.
some of these are either fake movies or red herrings. So
Okay, all right,
we're
I'm
just
ready.
gonna try this experiment out to see if there is anything that may ring a red flag here. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Here we go.
Hmm.
Maestro.
Maestro. I saw Maestro. I don't think it's an Oscar nominee.
It is.
Oh well, I mean, I don't think it's worthy of one.
Okay. The Leftovers.
The Leftovers. That's a real movie.
Nope. It's The
Uh,
Holdovers.
the Holdovers. Oh, whatever. Same thing.
Zone
I
of
almost watched.
Interest.
I watched the trailer on the flight home from
You did.
Europe.
It's a very good movie. I would highly recommend it. And it's available for streaming on Peacock. They're not paying for
Is
it.
that the one with the guy and he's the like he's with the people over like the holidays?
Yeah, I want to point this out. Up until you did that description, there was nothing funny. He's the guy who's with the people. Yeah, great Oscar nominated movie. 100%. Paul Giamatti should get the Oscar for that. Okay, still going. Zone of
Okay,
Interest.
that's a fake movie.
Real movie nominated for the Best Picture.
Oh, okay.
Cats Can't Dance.
Oh, that's a real movie.
It is a real movie, but nominated for an Oscar.
Okay.
Anatomy of a Fall.
Oh, that's a real movie.
That is a real movie. It is really nominated for the Oscar.
Oh, I'm playing on a different level. I'm just trying to get real movies here.
Past Lives.
Past Life, that's a fake movie.
It's a real movie nominated for the Oscar for Best Picture. American Fiction.
America, that's a real movie.
Real movie nominated for Best Picture. Okay. Barbie.
Barbie, that is a real movie. That can't be nominated for anything,
It is
is it?
nominated for Best Picture.
Ooh, Best Picture, really?
Yeah.
Okay, well,
So let me give you a little hint here. I'm going to give you a little primer. If you're nominated nominated for
there were
Best
no
Picture,
fake movies.
what's that?
There were no fake movies in that list.
You know, there were a couple. I did throw a couple at you, but what I really was going to do here, and then I
Mhm.
thought it was too mean, was I was just going to read the list of all the Best Picture nominees straight down and see if you thought they were real or not. And we were pretty close to it because I got through almost all of them. Because I was going to do another one, but I think you actually would know that. So would you know, yes or no, Poor Things?
Poor Things, I haven't seen that one.
Real movie, though.
Okay.
And nominated for Best Picture.
I would have confidently shouted fake movie at that one.
There is something great about this because as much as I love the Oscars, I still feel that I can make fun of them in a very real way. So I definitely go out of my way to still insult them as much as I can. But it's usually out of love, sometimes occasionally out of hate or spite out of some of the movies. And I'm like, how did that get on? All right, if you guys nominate that, that's perfectly fine. So there is that. I am noticing though, for whatever reason, it is streaming, but I can't seem to find. Oh, it says practice. Fuck me. That's why. Oh, okay. I see what's happening here. Chris Wojcik, I am occasionally smart. That one was my dumb fault.
Oh, that's okay.
All right. So we'll come back to that in a few minutes. All right. In the meantime, let's finish this out with these last three, sir. So which ones would you like to go to next?
Forward.
Going to forward. Okay. Chris Wojcik, this weekend, you are going to have to spring forward, which means you are going to lose 1 hour of time. With that in mind, what is the best hour you can spend watching a DVD instructional that is not your own?
Like the best hour of the day?
What is the best hour you can spend, like the best DVD or instructional you can
Okay.
spend
Okay, the
watching
best
an hour of?
DVD. I think that you should watch the DVDs that are of the things that you suck at. So you should be watching DVDs for everybody. You should be watching DVDs on wrestling because everybody in jiu-jitsu sucks at wrestling. uh, or leg locks. Um, if not mine, from somebody else. Probably leg lock defense. So I think Craig's Get Off My Legs Gringo is one that's really good for leg lock defense. I think Gordon's Passing is the best passing DVD, or Joseph Chen's Passing, probably the two best passing DVDs. Those.
Those are some good answers. I like that. Very nice, sir. Thank you for that. I do appreciate the fact that part of my criterion for that question was going to be like, you cannot plug yours. And even though you did not necessarily say yours as an answer, you still found a way to weave in yours as part of your answer. And I thought that was a high level of difficulty. So kudos to you for that, sir.
Thank you. Word salads are my thing.
I mean, it's more so that I was sitting there and I was like, if I ask this question and there's 50 seconds to respond to it, I know the answer can't just be watch mine and be like, oh shit, yeah, I set him up for that. So on this one, I was like, I have to make sure we put on here, don't say yours.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I wanted to. It was like mine, and then I was like, oh no. What do I watch?
And I mean, that's good. I mean, I like hearing what you're watching. Let's say I only have the ability to buy one of those. Which one am I buying?
Watch Joseph's.
Why Joseph's?
Because he is, I think, one of the best. Like he's still, I would still consider him up and coming, but I think he's one of the best up and coming guys in the world. And he's also going to give you like a different look on like the stuff that the like Craig or Gordon, those guys are doing. He's going to give you kind of his own take. Also to support up and coming grapplers. Gordon and Craig make enough money off instructionals.
See, that's a very, very qualified answer there. So I appreciate you for giving that. Let's stop giving Craig Jones money. But if we stop giving him money, then he has to do ADCC. Hold on.
We're just plotting against him.
Hey, listen, bro.
You would probably appreciate that though in some way.
I want to make ADCC exciting. That's all. I don't know what these guys are trying to make me do, but I'm like trying to give you guys entertainment, money for your value. I just like the idea that whenever I see Craig Jones tell us that he's like teasing, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to do ADCC. And I'm like, I kind of believe you, but I also want to force you to do what I want you to do. I don't really have any means of doing that other than taking away your money. So I feel like this is truly like the Parent Trap version of tricking him into having to do ADCC. It's like, if we just make him poor, then he has to do it. Done. Okay. We have 2 left here, sir. So where would you like to go next? There is 99 or there is DIVA.
Let's do DIVA.
You're doing DIVA indeed. All right, DIVA it is. Chris Wojcik, you broke the internet earlier this week by making a post about the insanity of jiu-jitsu athletes. As a result of that, how can somebody not be a jiu-jitsu diva? What are the best things that coaches or people can do to make sure they don't become those absurd parodies you brought up?
The best way to avoid becoming a jiu-jitsu diva is to read some books, because most jiu-jitsu athletes, in my experience, do not read any books and thus do not develop any sort of perspective outside of the jiu-jitsu mat. And so they end up being completely out of verse when it comes to things like failure or losing or business or things that happen in your life besides grappling well. So the best way to avoid being a jiu-jitsu diva is to read and get yourself versed in the world a little bit.
Okay. Very nice answer here. I should ask this though. What books do you recommend that they read? Because if you leave most jiu-jitsu folks to their own devices, they may go to the ones that have pictures in it.
That's true. I mean, the Cat in the Hat offers a lot of excellent life lessons that I think that, and it also teaches rhyming, which is a good thing to learn. I think, read things that are like interesting to you. I think that everybody, even jiu-jitsu athletes, have a lot of interests outside of jiu-jitsu. So read what you love until you love to read. I've heard that somewhere sometime. I think that's what you got to do. Um, books on learning, books on, like skill acquisition. I think that's the way to go.
Good, 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 good. So let me go
Also,
ahead
my
and
book
see if,
coming out soon.
what's that?
I said also my book will be coming out soon, and I think that's something that people should read.
Okay, so what's your book going to be on?
My book is essentially taking the stuff that I write about on Instagram every day, and I'm making it into a little book, and it will be out in April.
Oh, that's awesome. Good for you, sir.
Yep. So that's something for jiu-jitsu athletes to read.
So this was all just a plug for your book. Got it.
Gotta make a buck, man. Gotta make a buck.
You know what? I don't even know that you're the best writer. Maybe you're the second best marketer. Maybe that's why you're on my team. God damn it. Well, let me give you a quick, I guess, response on that one. It's not like you got anything I'm going to really talk shit about on that, but I do think it is fairly easy for us to say it. That one's not nominated. That one's Diva. That's where we're at. And let's go to this guest camera off. All right, let me tell you guys a little quick story. So, one of the things I think you find is that most jiu-jitsu coaches or athletes, I think when they get into their true diva status, and I've seen this as somebody who's interviewed them, I think the best way to kind of help them kind of come back down to earth is you should not be afraid to roast people. I think you should still roast even the people that you love the most, because I think that's the easiest way to make sure that you stop coaches from becoming divas. I routinely tell our guys to try and make fun of me, and mostly because it's not going to affect me. But I think it's a good way of being able to say, like, hey, listen, that wasn't such a good idea after all. Because I do wonder if some of the biggest names in our sport still get roasted and have some sort of conscience about it. And I feel like that's the only way to kind of equate the system. So that's my little hint to you guys. Try to roast as much as you can.
I think roasting is a big one. I should have said roasting. It's a good answer.
Thank you. Let's put it this way, dude. I feel like the more that you avoid roasting those people that you look up to, the more that you create those exceptional beings, those people that you're like, oh man, they're untouchable. And for me, I'm like, I don't know why we build up such elevated status for so many people when I'm like, well, you do footlock very well. So there is that, but I don't know that that makes you a great person.
That is true. That is true.
All right.
It's always the leg lockers too.
You know what it is? We put that as a high premium. Nobody's like sitting there being like, this dude armbar is real good. Let's make him our new messiah.
Because leg locking is like the art of beating someone while doing as little athletic movements as possible. So you really feel like a god.
I will tell you this. Yesterday, the guy I was rolling with, normally I have pretty decent leg locks against him. I wouldn't say in general, just against him, they work pretty well. And he has been working nonstop with somebody on leg lock defense. And once he stopped it about the fifth or sixth time, I was kind of like, this is going to be a long day. Uh-oh. He figured out a couple of these cheat codes. Yikes. And that's when you feel like, if I roll with somebody who's younger than me, I'm like, all right, this kind of sucks. That's 100% when you feel like you've aged like 90 years, where you're like, I can't move anymore. And I think he's going to realize that very quickly.
I've had like some experiences competition where I'll like leg lock someone, I'll put it on, I'll even feel it pop a little bit and they don't tap. And I'm like, uh-oh. That was like my whole plan. And now I don't know. I should have done the other part of jiu-jitsu.
Listen, dude, the other part of jiu-jitsu, overrated. Super, super overrated. All right, we're gonna go to the last one right now. This one is 99. Sir, the camera goes on you. Here's your prompt. As one of the most prominent jiu-jitsu travelers in the world, what are some of the biggest horror stories you have had in traveling?
All right, so I have one from yesterday, actually. This is not the biggest horror story, but it's one of them. Yesterday, I was coming home from California after being overseas for 2 weeks, and I got an email from my apartment complex saying that I was parked illegally and that they were going to start towing all people in the complex that were parked illegally on March 1st, and I was flying home on March 3rd. So I was terrified that my car was going to get towed from my apartment. So I raced home only to find that my car had not been towed, and then I realized that I left my bag at the airport. So I got home, spent money on an Uber, and then I had to get my car that luckily was not towed and drive all the way back to the airport to then find my bag that someone had taken and given to the like lost baggage people. So it was like I left my bag somewhere. So that's one of my recent horror stories. Other than that, just flight delays are terrible.
Flight delays are a bitch, but let me get this straight. You had a notice that let you know that some shit was going down with your car, and that they said this can work as long as you meet it by the deadline. Like, as long as you make it back on this date, you should be okay. And that just happened to be what, like a day or two over?
Yes, yes. I think luckily because I live in Texas and everything is closed on Sunday, I was okay. But there was a chance, the parking lot's looking very empty today.
It's got to be very, very nervous to sit there. Oh, shit. Yeah, UFC blocked your video. That was from yesterday.
Oh, damn.
Holy shit. The copyrighted content moments. So yeah, it has the audio segments. It's literally the few seconds that we had on there. Wow. Wow, we're going to come from this. What's up, Curtis Clark? Good to see you, my friend. Appreciate you for checking in. All right, let me give you, I don't even, dude, it's been a while. I haven't traveled as much as you guys have anymore. I used to do competitive speech and debate, and that was always yikes. So here we go. Let me tell you guys this. If you are ever doing a competitive sport or some kind of extracurricular, traveling is the worst. And I will tell you this much. If you're able to do so and get past these following things, you're great. Number one, always have an extra backup. So I don't care where you are, backup clothing, backup gear, backup whatever it is. But I found multiple times that as careful as I could be, I think there was one time where I was competing, I had a suit and somebody fucked the suit up. And that meant that there was no way to get that cleaned as much as we could do. So I just had this like giant like stain or something on my suit. And I just remember being like, I just have to own this. There was no second backup suit. So now anytime I travel, backup suit. In my car, always an extra gi. In my car, always extra clothes to wear if I have to shower somewhere that I don't have access to stuff. I just keep everything backup. So that's what I can tell you guys.
Oh, dude, that reminded me of last year. I moved out of an apartment last year, and the month before I moved out of my apartment, I did submission only series, and we won knives. They make these like super cool knives. They're like custom made, and I put the knife in my backpack. And then the next weekend, I had a seminar, and I forgot to take the knife out of my backpack, and so I was like trying to go through security with this like custom like $300 knife. They were like, "Sir, there's no way that you can go through security with this." And I had to give my knife to TSA, and then I tried to like fight with TSA to get them to give it to me back. But now the government owns my submission only series knife.
I still, wow, that is fairly amazing. The fact that I don't know who to blame more. I don't know who to blame them for being like, "Hey, sir, this knife, no, thank you," or do I blame you for being like,
I was so shocked.
Hey,
I thought someone had like smuggled a knife in my backpack. I was like, I'm being framed.
This is so great to especially be doing that. So let me ask this. Are you somebody who just appreciates knives? Do you like the practicality of them? And if so, what is it that you like about them?
No, I won this knife at a jiu-jitsu tournament. It's the only knife I own. I had no idea like I just thought it was cool. And I was sad to give it up, but I've got no idea about knives, but I put it in my backpack for like moving stuff from my apartment. And I was like, oh shit, got a seminar this weekend, threw some clothes in my bag, put my laptop in, and go to the airport, and they're like, dude, you got a fucking like 6-inch knife in your backpack.
Sir, we'd appreciate it if you didn't try to travel with this knife, please, and thank you.
It was a thing.
Well, here's the thing, Chris. we have made our way through the gauntlet. So what I like to do at the ends of these episodes is I like to say, is there a topic you would like to get me to respond to? Is there a topic you'd like to bring to the table that was not on the board that you feel merits discussion? And a lot of times I tell people, I'm like, you're more than welcome, because I tried to trip you up a little bit. You're more than welcome to see if there's a hot take that I have of something you feel you could potentially trip me out on.
Mm. Oh, I wish you had told me that that was an option. I would have come like ready to trip you up. But let's see. What would you say is? I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying to think. What are like some other trending jiu-jitsu topics?
So, Chris, here's the beautiful part.
Mm-hmm.
I can hear your mind working. I
Mm-hmm.
can hear it very loudly. I think you have somewhere you want to go. Just find your instincts, figure out what are there controversial topics, are there things that you want to get a response to? Because already in this episode, we've somehow touched upon Danaher, steroids, investment money versus making money versus, hey, everybody wants you to compete, so do it, you dummy. So we've covered some good ground that are hot topics within our sport. But for you, you write every single day. You have at least 4,000 prompts. It's just a matter of you being like, is there one that I feel Raf could have a certain take or that he might not want to speak about?
Okay. Um, what would you say is the like? Does it have to be about grappling, or can we talk about like podcasting?
Go for it. I'll take a podcast one.
All right. What would you say is the like foundational skills that one needs to learn to develop the skill and art of podcasting? So, like for writing, for example, it's not just writing, it's like learning to write headlines, it's learning to edit and write as you speak. And it's like learning different like frameworks to create engaging headlines and topics. So I would say that would be for writing. So what would you say is like foundational skills for improving at podcasting?
Listening. Most people don't do it. And it is tough because most people feel like this is a two-way dance. And it kind of is. But if you're doing it well, yeah, it should feel conversational. But I feel that most people talk over their guests. And if I do it, I can hear it sometimes and I try to pull back a little bit. But I think the idea is so many people get so excited to show their personalities or who they are. And my thing is always that'll come. If you do it long enough, people are going to find out things about you that are great. But normally if I ask a question, I try to let the person go for a minute. There is nothing worse than when I'm driving and let's say I'm driving to one of my entertainment jobs and I hear the host talking over the guest and I go, what are you doing? And I know most of the times it's for a joke, but you see it everywhere from even Joe Rogan does it, like, especially when he's flippant with the guest and he just doesn't value their opinion or he's just saying something. It's like, what is the purpose of the guest being here then? So I do my best to ask a question. And sometimes it sucks, dude. Sometimes I've got a really solid joke that I want to insert in. And sometimes I have to discard it because I go, it's just not the right flow. But by and large, I think there's a good rule of thumb, which you can do as follows. Ask the question, and legitimately, if you're a new broadcaster or podcaster, I say ask the question and then count backwards from 60 seconds. Because at the very least, you've given them time to respond to that topic, and that even if they have like a slight bump or you feel like it might be awkward, let them find their thoughts. That's what's great about podcasts. You can find your thoughts in the middle of it. So it doesn't have to be like right on the money. So I feel like just have the confidence to pull back more. When I was doing Verbal Tap with Kevin, I used to get really angry because I was like, dude, it felt like it wasn't 50-50. And I think that was a good start. But the best podcast will never be truly 50-50. So one of my friends, he had pointed it out. He was like, dude, you'll ask a long question. And I go, sometimes I will, but it's because I don't see a look in their eyes that says they know what the question means. And he's like, yeah. And I go, yep. And I go, so what I might do is open up 3 avenues for them and say like, hey, take this one or take this one or take that one. Do whatever you want. But if I don't see them like nodding or having that look like, oh, I've got something to say, I give them those 3 different roads and let them choose one. And then I hang back. I just let them do their thing. But I think that's the biggest thing you could probably learn.
That makes sense. I think that all I, because I've at this point in my career, I've done a lot of podcasts, like for a bunch of different people, and I think that some of them I've been like, I leave the podcast and I'm like, God, I was present for someone else's conversation, sometimes with themselves, and then other times I'm like, that was really fun. I feel like I talked, but I also wasn't. I don't feel like a narcissist when I leave, like
Yeah.
like I talked the whole time. So it's like good back and forth. So I think that's a good answer.
Yeah. And I mean, listen, it's an easy rule of thumb because at its core, if you really break down, I think the best hour-long interviews, you probably won't get more than 10 questions in if you're doing it a certain way. And I don't think that's bad. I think that means that your guest had valuable things to say. But when I first started off, I would have like a series of bullet points that I would kind of like incessantly walk down and go. Now, like the reason I need this note card for us is because I want to make sure the prompts get done as fast as possible so you have time to respond. So like I don't want to do 3 takes of asking you the question. I want to just get there. And I just feel like if you really bracketed it out and like saw the bullet points, you probably have 10 questions, and I think that's good. So it's a learnable skill that you can like chill and get their responses to in a good way that you don't have to read a book to do. You just have to say like, hey, 10 questions, let's go and see what happens. And you probably will make at least 40 minutes.
Cool. Sounds good to me.
See, look at that, Chris. You were able to do this in a educated way. You were able to tell people great things. I should ask this. If not your book, what other book should they be reading?
Oh, I don't know. What have I been reading? Let's see. I just read A Tale of Two Cities. I wouldn't recommend it to most people.
Oh my God.
You won't understand what's happening. I think the book I would recommend for grapplers is 531 by Jim Wendler. It's a book about like powerlifting, and it's just like so quotable for like life things that I think that it's like it's fun, it's easy, it's you can get it as an ebook, and it's like to 100 pages or something like that. And he says like just like the most like ridiculous powerlifter stuff that I think is just like it's money. I like it a lot.
Interesting. All right. Now we know he's on steroids. Got it. Thank you very much for that. Chris, I want to do this right now. I'm going to put the camera back on you. Plug your shit, sir.
Camera's on you, sir.
You know what the weird part is? Hold on. Let me go back to this. This thing is programmed to go to a certain way. When I press it, when it started on you, I should be able to switch the cameras on and off between us, but it's so staccato. It goes, no, you either put the cameras on him or you. And I'm like, well, I want it on him, so put it on him. So we'll do that one. There you go.
Okay. Plugging my shit. I got the Grappler's Diary on Instagram. You can check that out. Page is growing relatively fast. There's new posts 5 days a week, sometimes more if I'm really in a groove. Check out my newsletter, which is the same name, The Grappler's Diary on Substack. Free articles come out every Friday that are kind of more about like my life. And then, there's articles every either Monday or Tuesday, which are like more about like jiu-jitsu, and those are for my premium subscribers. I have a book coming out in April. The exact date will be soon, but I think it's going to be like April 18th or something like that. And then just follow me. And I'm Chris Wojcik, and my last name is Wojcik. A lot of people botch that. And I'll be competing in the ADCC trials coming up as well. So just something else to look forward to.
Stoked to see that. And I see that we have Paul Ardea in the viewing right now. So, Paul, you
Nice.
stay away. Oh no. Oh no, there's a real question that just came in right now from one Paul Ardillo of all things.
What did he say?
Well, he has a very important question for you, and I'm waiting for it to pop up here, and I'm going to see if it does. But it seems our man, in certain ways, has words for you, and the words are as follows. Ask this man why he had to catch me in so many Aoki locks.
Oh man, I don't think that is the entire story of the round, but I appreciate Paul flattering me while I'm on air.
I mean, listen, Paul is a menace to ADCC trials. This dude he should get a restraining order. We should get a restraining order against Paul Ardillo for ADCC trials. That man should not be allowed to do it anymore. I don't know the legal parameters. He's a lawyer, but I'm pretty sure we could figure out a way to get around it. So I'm just...
It's not a case that you want to take, I don't think.
Listen, bro. You know what the dumb part is? We don't have too many other lawyers in this sport that I think could help us. And I feel like he's... What's that?
The only other lawyer I know is Paul's brother.
I know. Who, by the way, you know what? Given the last appearance, when Paul made his appearance on the show and talked shit about his brother, I think I could actually get his brother to represent us. Oh, God, this could work. I'm thinking about this. This works very, very well. Having said that, there is a part of me, though, that I think that Paul would very quickly, if he was given a jiu-jitsu sort of legal battle, I think he would try to implement like trial by combat rules and be like, well, you know, Your Honor, the time for words is done. I think it's time that we go to action. And be like, oh no, I'm not. No, thank you. Although he is somebody who shares your same thing in that he has been in my hood and not come to train. So you two, one and the same. Just saying. Anyway, I'm going to do a close up and I'll say bye to you off air. Chris, I appreciate you. Thank you for playing Running the Gauntlet. We appreciate you very much, sir. You have been an excellent, excellent friend, and I always look forward to your posts. So keep up the great work, sir.
Yeah, dude, thank you so much for having me on. It's always a great time. Big fan of the show, and excited for this to come out. When does this come out?
I mean, it's out now.
Oh, that's true.
So it's happening now. But the good news is we'll re-release it so that people can see it and catch it on that way. And I don't know what Forward was saying for this, but watch it, boys. So I don't know what context that has, but I'm sure we said something that probably went after one of their kings. And
yeah, I hope not.
It's fine. I think they'll be all right. All right, I'm going to close this off and then I'll say bye to you off air. Thank you very much, Chris Wojcik.
Awesome.
All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching this week's Running the Gauntlet. A few reminders. One, if you like this merch, check out this, look at this, or look at our friend Chris Wojcik, who is basically, see, again, it's doing the thing where I pressed you, my man, showing off the merch here, Grappling Hour merch, with his wonderful hat, which, by the way, I went the entire episode without insulting. So I want to point that out to everybody here that I am a good human being that is not making fun of it, that he should be memed right now for taking on a feminist cause and screaming at the top of his lungs. See, we aren't doing those jokes here, people. We don't people. So what I want to make sure is you guys know, if you enjoyed this show, yes, buy some merch, rapasparsa.com/merch or grapplinghour.com. Either of those places, you can get one of these t-shirts for $25, that hoodie for $45, or a combination of the two at $60. That helps me, that helps the show, and that helps us continue to book great guests and buy new equipment. You can also go check out our patreon.com. That is patreon.com/grapplinghour. We have a lot of interviews, and I don't know if I could put this on. You can tell whenever I don't pretend like I've done any of this in a rehearsal. But I will show you, just so you get an idea of what we got coming up this month. Check out this calendar. What's up? What's up, D'Angelo? Good to see you, brother. Look at this. Look at this March series of guests. So you had Chris today. Next week we'll be back Monday, every Monday, live. We are doing Running the Gauntlets there. Then we've also got Alex Grandy. His episode premieres tomorrow. Anthony Ruiz, the very funny Anthony Ruiz. His episode comes out on a Thursday. Julian Espinoza, or Julian, depending on if you have the accent. His episode comes out next Tuesday. Then you've got Gary Tonin next Thursday. Tyler Pierman, not Pearman. He told me that multiple times, and that people call him Pierman. And I said, well, maybe you shouldn't have your name spelled like a pear. So there is that. And then you've also got Joseph Rodriguez from Next Fighting, a local fighter. And I think his story is super good. You can also check out, there's going to be a great episode with our good pal, Eddie Bernal. After we did our Fight Companion yesterday, we did a full-on interview, and we talk all about his latest lights out fight. So my boy Joe, Joe's coming on. His episode is going to premiere on the 26th for free for everybody. But if you want to see that interview earlier, you can check it out at grapplinghour.com or patreon.com/grapplinghour. That interview should go up in 2 days early to all of our fans, and then out to everybody at the end of the month. So that's it. And I told you, if you didn't have something to comment on in the comment section, if you were watching this after the fact, it would be great if you were to tell us what your strategies are to keep people from being divas in our sport. So in the comment section, go ahead and put one of those. And be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Do the last couple things. Patreon, merch, like, comment, subscribe, Discord. See you guys on Discord and all that good jazz. It has been a great day for grappling, you guys. We'll see you back on the mat.